Good morning. They say good morning. All right, good. It's morning. Yeah, it's not afternoon yet. Great. All right, so it's a little bit of housekeeping rules. I'm an interactive person. I'm also nervous, but that's good because I get to share with everybody. So this is great, right? So before we start, I want to do a little simple exercise. So I want everybody to reach to the closest person next to you and hold their hand, if you are comfortable enough, only if you're comfortable enough. Close your eyes, and then repeat after me. You are not perfect. I am not perfect. We will make mistakes. But as long as we learn from them, that is what is important. All right, let go. Everybody breathe. And now we're here. All right, so the title of this is The Power of Your Name. Now, there are many different ways I could have, pieced this together. I could have given you like 10,000 different ways that you could have, really thought about your name and you specifically, and then, gone out there and, had some motivational feelings. But I find that a lot of those tend to, go up and down and die. So what I wanted to do was just condense it a little bit, give you just five reasons why your name or any title of anything is probably important and is probably something you should pay attention to. So we're just going to start it off. Number one, who the heck are you? This is my favorite one because in reality, no one knows how to answer this question. If you know how to answer this question right now, raise your hand. Great. So that's a testament of a little bit of what this has to offer. People find that this question in interviews is like a deer in the headlights situation. Like you're caught and it's like, okay, dang, who am I? I'm not asking for your name. I'm not asking for your address. I'm not asking for your age. I'm not asking for where you're from. I'm not asking who your parents are. I'm asking, who are you? A lot of this comes from knowing your purpose in life. And it's okay to not know right now. And that may be a negative to some people, but the positive in this situation is that now you have the opportunity and more opportunities the days that you live to figure it out. You look in the Word, you look at your self-identity. Your name is attached to this because it gives you a sense of direction, a starting point and an ending point. It allows you to reinvent yourself many times over. Think about it. When you were 6, if I asked you who you were, you'd be like, oh, I'm Superman. If you were anything beforehand, you'd be something else. At 10 years old, you'd be something else. At 22, I know I'm something different. And so for me, over time, I reinvent myself, but my name stays the same. Think about it. We are all here from different walks of life, but the one thing that we have all together is a name and a title. The second thing is representation. And I love this part because there's two sides to it. There's role models, and then there's family. So by a show of hands, tell me if these names mean something to you. Martin, Malcolm, Barack, Jesse. And for my hip-hop heads, the only Christopher we acknowledge is, thank you. All right. So here's the situation. Apart from the last name I just mentioned, all of these people had a certain effect on you. You didn't know which Martin I was talking about. I could have been talking about Martin Luther King. I could have been talking about Martin Lawrence. I could be talking about Martin, who's the janitor at UD that I personally know. But for some reason, these names brought a rise in you, a sense of pride, and to a certain extent. Representation is important. Here's another one. Wakanda? Exactly. All right. So that's another example. And then the best example for me, and this is more personal, is also family members. By a show of hands, how many people here have a family member who has either overachieved or underachieved? Almost everyone in here. You have a family name, you have somebody who has taken it to the best of heights, and you have somebody that may have not taken it to the best of heights. Either way, you have something to do with that, because that name is represented by not just you, but by the achievements of other people. The third one is specification and uniqueness. By a show of hands, how many people know what this is? I see about 2 people. Actually 3. Okay, 4, 5. It's sporadic. It's sporadic. Okay, how many people know what this is? Why? What is that? That is the map of Africa. What is this? That is Nigeria. So I am from this country in this continent. But the problem is, if I didn't show you this and I said, hey, I'm from here, you would have no idea what I'm talking about. And I find that, especially when I moved back to the United States, they ask me, Obi, where are you from? I say, I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. They're like, oh, you from Africa? No, I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. There are 55 other countries that surround this thing. I'm from a country on the western side of Africa. I am also from the eastern side of this part, closer to the east of this entire landmass. The name is important. It provides specification. My country is unique to the continent. My culture, I am of the Igbo people of Nigeria. It is unique to this landmass as well. Another thing that also struck me, and I'll leave this up here for a little bit, is when I was in high school, I had a bunch of foreign exchange students. And I hate calling them that, but just for the purpose of, familiarity, I'll keep it that way. A lot of them were from Japan, China. And when they came over, I wanted to know their names. And one of them came to me and said, oh, my name is Brian. I'm like, oh, hey, I didn't expect that, but sure, your name is Brian. And it caught on that they adopted names when they came. That was a little saddening for me. And also came to the fact that once they left high school, I did not remember a good amount of their names. His name, the young man who's called himself Brian, his real name is Zhao Jing. But I remember that because I was inquired enough to ask about it. So the next time somebody tells you their name or jumps right ahead to tell you, oh, you can just short form this or I can completely change this, inquire them. Ask them about who they are. Ask them about what they represent. And most importantly, ask them what their real name is. Confidence. A big part about this is a lot of people ask, all right, so how do you become confident, right? People will tell you, oh, just be confident, just be confident. That's not enough. Are there methods? Are there ways? Can I practice them? The big reason why your name is a big part of your confidence is, number one, by a show of hands, how many people look at themselves as a book? Describe themselves, oh, I'm an open book, or I'm a closed book. By a show of hands, how many people describe themselves as that? Okay, so about 3, 4. If you look at your life as a book, your name is sort of the preface, not the title. The title is different. The title is not all telling about everything that's in the book, but the preface in detail will tell you much about the book from start to end. Your character, the mantras, the values, the things that you live by, that is where you get your confidence from. And then on top of that, when all these things line up, or when you work for all these things to line up, you can go anywhere in the world and at least be confident about that specific aspect of yourself. Not necessarily everything, but just that specific aspect. And then number 5, my favorite, put some respect on my name. I love this title, not just because I love Birdman and Cash Money Records. I'm a big fan, yes. But there's a story behind this. So when I was about 7, 8, I went to school with a lot of kids who they didn't have generic names, but they had very simple to pronounce names. They had one, first, middle, and ending. I have a hyphenated last name. I have a very long first name. And because I wanted to fit in, I would ask, hey, what if I change my name? So I went to my mom, who I trust very much, and I said to her, hey, Mom, I want to change my name. And I asked my dad the same thing. And she said, why would you want to do that? I said, well, it's too long and I want to fit in with the other kids. And she said, before you do that, because I love my mom, because she's always, giving me a teachable moment. She said, before you do that, I want to tell you a story. So in the year 1990, my parents got married. They were very excited and they couldn't wait to have children. For about 5+ years, they tried everything and they couldn't. And in the culture that I'm from, if you cannot bear children, it is a very traumatic experience, especially for the woman. She starts to doubt herself. The family starts to doubt her. The man could probably doubt the marriage. Thankfully, my father didn't. And my mom prayed, and she prayed, and she prayed, and she prayed. Consistent prayer for 5+ years. And then closer to the end of 95, they got the news, the beautiful news that they would be having a baby boy. In the March of 96, I was born. And my mother named me this. That is my full name, first, middle, and ending. And she said, that first name, Obi, means heart in my native language of Igbo. And that Chukwu means God or whatever higher power you serve. You are the heart of God. My name is an ode or homage to the higher power that she serves. The reason I am breathing is her gratitude to God for giving me to her. From that day on, I never questioned my name one time because it is a story. My name is older than me. I am currently 22 years old. I just turned 22 last week. My name is over 28 years old and will probably be lasting a lot longer than I will because she had faith and she kept praying for me. She called me her miracle, and that's my name. So essentially, bringing this full circle, a lot of people also ask, Obi, what if I don't like my name? What if right now I don't like my name? I look at it like this. All right. Do you want to change it? And if they say yes, all right, go ahead and change it. But before you do that, research your name. Look into it a little bit more. Your name isn't just a thing on a piece of paper or a couple letters. There's a story behind it. There are people that hope for that. And if you want to change it and you're going to change it, change is something that envisions and encompasses your character. That encompasses the story that you want to tell. The story that will outlive you and your children afterwards. Because when we die, we want to be remembered. And how are we remembered? For who we are, for the things that we represented when we were on earth, for what made us different, for what made us unique, for the things we had confidence and firmness in, and most of all, the story behind the title. That's my tongue. Thank you.